Leone, and boy are my arms chopped off with machetes. That's my character I'm working on. Bad 80s comedian that only does jokes about genocide. Dark 4. More like Dark 5, right? Oh boy. I saw some really bad Christmas trees this year, and this happens because I don't celebrate the holiday, so I'm like at a lot of other people's houses during Christmases, and I just saw this one tree that looked like the father was an air traffic controller. See if you can follow what I'm saying here. It looked like the father was an air traffic controller, and he just stole a bunch of things from work. And he brought them all home and taped them to the tree, and he said, "Sorry kids, no Christmas this year. Meet your new stepmom, Mr. Boston." And it's sad because that's what happened in the house, and I was there for the witnesses. I keep looking at my set list, and like, you never see an orchestra with a set list. Like, they always have their books, and they don't memorize the music. They just turn the page and like, and I just thought it'd be really funny if a orchestra had a set list, like they just put a post-it note on their music stands, and they had a little lot, like they were doing Beethoven's Ninth, and they're like, okay, Ninth, first movement, second movement, third movement, fourth, fifth, and then they had a line where they would exit the stage and people would scream for an encore, and they'd come back for like the sixth movement, and people would be like, I knew they were going to do the sixth movement, I'm so glad I stuck around, like they're totally going to do Ode to Joy, and they're like, I just hate that like an encore is expected in any music show you go to. It's really pretentious. Like they're like, oh my God, Arcade Fire didn't play Wake Up? Like what? This is the worst show ever. Oh my God, they're coming back on stage. Does that surprise anyone anymore? Beethoven's Ninth. Boston Pops. Fucking great. I read the misconnections on Craigslist like I'm ever going to be on there. I know a lot of other people who do too, like they're ever going to be on there. And nothing against the people, but it's always the men looking for women, and it's always weird. It's always men. I've noticed this like trend in misconnections where men who are looking for women, it's always like the woman was too busy to talk to them, and the men are like, oh, I saw you going into a shoe store. I wish you were buying shoes for me. Or like, I wish you were pumping gas. I wish you were pumping gas for me. Like, call me if you happen to notice me. But, I mean, like every guy I know, and the next part is for me especially. It's like, you were at 80s night, and you were looking really sullen, and you elbowed a drink out of my hand. Do you know who I am? This is me. I'm really beautiful, and I really like Star Wars, and I'm a great cook. And that has not happened yet. And nor will it. I don't like how the media always finds a way to blame natural disasters on like violent video games and like metal music. I just think that's like, oh my God, there was this earthquake. If only the earthquake didn't play so much Grand Theft Auto. And it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't make sense. I'm with you guys on this one. But it just made me think to when everyone was really proud of themselves for finding metal lyrics that had like satanic messages in them. Like you're playing like an Ozzy Osbourne record, and there are all these parental groups. It's like there's encoded satanic messages. If you play it, you can clearly hear Ozzy Osbourne saying, he's like, I love Satan, he is my friend, and like that's just in it. It took no effort. Like you didn't find it there. That's like looking in that Simon and Garfunkel song, and you found the exact right spices to put in your soup. it's not hidden, it's just on the surface. That's all I have to say about that. I was at a bar with this woman the other day, about a week ago, and she was asking me all these like personal questions about my family. And I was like, okay, well, I like you, so I'm going to answer them. She's like, oh, tell me about the situation with your father. I'm like, oh, well, that's really awkward. And I told her about it. And then the night just went nowhere. And I'm like, if you're going to ask me those personal questions, have the courtesy to put out. Like, come on. She's like, tell me about your family. I'm like, tell me about yourself naked, because that's what I want to hear. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm sorry. I was playing pool the other day, and I got really frustrated because it seems like actually everyone in this audience was there when I was playing. So maybe you can relate. It seems like every time I play pool, there's these new rules that seem to exist just to screw me over. It's like, oh, if you don't hit one of your balls, and there's like a banking, and if you skip a ball over another thing, that means the other team wins. And, well, sorry, I just won. And you can really take advantage of me because I have no idea how pool is played. And I think that's what's been happening this whole time. But it just seems like these rules are like so archaic and shitty that like you knock the 8-ball in and then the cue ball goes in after it. I feel like someone's going to be like, okay, the only way you can win is if you take the cue ball home and you incubate it until the vernal equinox. Okay? At that day, you hit it with a diamond-tipped hammer and it will hatch. And if it hatches into a basilisk, you lose. But if it hatches into the infant form of the Aztec winged serpent god Quetzalcoatl, you have won the game. Cool. I hate it. Thank you, everyone. You were all lovely.